What's up, guys? This is Blake with Fueling to Function, and today we are going to be in my kitchen as usual, but we're going to be cooking. We are going to make some healthy, cheesy fries. It's going to be basically a baked French fry, and the seasonings and stuff we're going to use, it's going to have a cheesy taste, kind of like chili cheese fries without the chili. All you're going to need is a magic wand. No, I'm just kidding. You're not going to need a deep fryer because we're not going to deep fry anything. But let me show you what you are going to need. So what I have here are basically what we're going to need to make this recipe. You're just going to need some kind of a cookie sheet type thing to lay your potatoes across. Some aluminum foil, which we're going to spread out and cover, wrap the potatoes in to lock in the flavor while they cook. Some non-stick cooking spray so that you aren't eating aluminum foil as part of your meal, and some seasonings. The one to really make this recipe taste like cheese, it's just a popcorn seasoning with very, very few calories in it. Once you spread this across, you're going to be adding maybe 1 or 2 calories to each serving. Very minuscule. It is a little high in sodium, but this is just a nacho cheddar popcorn seasoning. And then any additional seasonings you may want. I'm going to be using a kickin' chicken seasoning to kind of give these like a spicy flavor, and a little bit of black pepper today. You could use anything you want, but for this recipe, all you really need is the nacho cheddar flavored spray. And I think, oh yeah, we're going to need potatoes. So what I have here, this one is yams. These are sweet potatoes. These are baby red potatoes. You could use russet potatoes, really any type of potato you want. They're not going to differ very much in the caloric value, I suppose you could call it. They're all going to have a similar amount of fiber, a similar amount of carbohydrates. They're all very low in fat and fairly low in protein. So this is more a side dish or something, a good carbohydrate source, a good healthy, sustainable carbohydrate source. Today I'm going to be using baby red potatoes, but like I said, you could use anything you wanted. So let's get started. Oh yeah, first things first, guys. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Mine is in the process as we make this video. Okay guys, so like I said, I'm going to be using baby red potatoes today. To start, you need to wash all these really well. Just get the dirt off them in the sink, and then we will begin our recipe. As far as how many you should use, this is a 5-pound bag, and I'll probably use about half of it. And these typically should last probably 2 weeks in your refrigerator if they're in a Tupperware or something. But how many you make is totally up to you. It'll just vary in how long we have to cook them for, depending on how many you make. So I would recommend about 2 pounds or like 8 to 10 potatoes. But you're going to kind of have to factor in how many potatoes you think you eat. So if you eat 1 potato a day, 7 potatoes would probably last you around a week. But just play with it. But to start, let's wash these things. Okay guys, so now that we've washed our potatoes, I just have a little cutting board here, and we're just going to cut them into French fry-like slices. If you wanted, you could also do potato wedges or whatever you really want. They're going to taste the same anyway. I'm going to make them into French fries because that is the recipe I'm going for this time. Okay guys, so now that we cut all of our potatoes into wedges, we are going to put them on our baking sheet on the aluminum foil and prepare to put them in the oven. My oven's still preheating, but once it gets to 450 degrees, we will pop these suckers in. So you want your aluminum foil to cover the entire baking sheet and then be able to wrap it back over the potatoes as well. Okay, so I wasn't very sparing. I have more than is necessary, but what we're going to do now is just spray this with some non-stick cooking spray and lay all of our potato fries across it. Okay, now try and turn all of the potatoes so that the white skin is up and the peel is on the bottom, because the flavor will stick better to the white part. Okay, once you're to the point where you have all your the white part of all your potatoes facing upwards, we're just going to layer it one more time in non-stick cooking spray so that the top part doesn't stick to them, and so that our seasonings will stick. So we're going to do non-stick cooking spray, and then the seasonings across the top, You can use as little or as much as you want. You'll just kind of have to play with it and decide how much you need to get the taste you're looking for. Okay, so as you guys can see, I put the nacho cheddar seasoning on all of them. I just pretty much put a thin layer. I didn't overly coat it, but I made sure there was enough on there to where I'm going to be able to taste it. And then I put a little bit of kickin' chicken seasoning on these as well. So these will be a spicier one, and then these will just be the cheesy flavor. Now we're just going to fold our tin foil over, and then I have my oven preheated to 450 degrees. Depending on how many potatoes you cook, this will take anywhere from 45 to 75 minutes. For this amount, I'm going to start at 60 and see where we're at. If you cooked less than probably 6 potatoes, I would say start with 45 minutes, and you can pull them out, and then if they're not done, try another 10. You can tell when they're done when they're soft, and if they're starting to brown a little bit, then they're probably done. You don't want to burn them. But into the oven, try 45 and see where you're at, and then we'll have our finished product. Alright guys, so I pulled these out of the oven, let them cool for about an hour. I'm now just going to put them in Tupperware containers, and that way if I'm home on lunch, if I'm needing some extra carbohydrates with my dinner, if just whatever, these are here and they're ready, and it's a lot easier to come home and grab these and something else real quick rather than to go and get a candy bar or go to McDonald's or whatever. This is a much better option. These are easy to throw in a Tupperware and take with you to work alongside with something else, because like I said, these are just carbohydrates, so you're going to want to just make them like a side dish and pair them with some type of protein. But I hope this was something you guys enjoy. I hope you give this a shot. Leave me a comment telling me what you thought. As far as toppings go, you could dip these in barbecue sauce, you could dip these in ketchup, you could take some cheese and sprinkle it across the top of these and melt it, and then it's really like cheese fries. But whatever you do, I hope this was helpful to you guys, and I hope you give it a shot.